your menu and your restaurant and your marketing. So every time
Indeed.
there's a new place, I go to other meetup and I'm like, guys, we're gonna try this. We're gonna go through and we're gonna support them and we're gonna let them know how we feel about it.
Indeed. We're actually going to take another break, but stay tuned with more from the Green Inside Story. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. You're tuned into the Green Inside Story with Old Westbury Web Radio. I'm your host, Dwayne, with my co-host, Candace.
What's up, y'all?
And our special guest, Miss Naliaka.
Hey, everybody.
So during the break, we were having this amazing conversation that we didn't record, and I'm kind of upset about. And just talking about building, helping, kind of plant-based businesses, kind of especially like local ones, not with chains, just like mom and pop, kind of like get off the ground. So as we were saying,
well, I mean, you and Candace were talking about supporting businesses of color, Black businesses. And I was like, yeah, I want to support people. Because when you talk about Instagram, I'm like, there are some people on Instagram who have small businesses. They're just starting out. And I know what that's like because I'm just building my business myself. And it's so hard to try to get things done because you don't have all the things that these big businesses have. You don't have like law insurance policies. You don't have personal liability. Like there are so many things you don't have. And I was thinking, I haven't really seen anything like this, but just create a space for people of color who have plant-based businesses, whether they're selling t-shirts, desserts, food. Let's do a little pop-up that we start ourselves, grassroots, and support these businesses so they can get their name out there and they can get into the community because that's really where they need to be, and that's necessity because they're local. I really was interested. I've never done anything like this, but I just had this idea in my head, and when I have an idea, it starts to grow, and that's really what I want to do. I want to be able to create a space for these small businesses and these small vendors.
well, you put it in the universe, so it's going to manifest.
It's going to happen. Yes.
I really, really believe that everything is cyclical and that everything comes around more than once. And we, with the community, when we talked to Dwayne's Uncle Amoye, he was saying that whenever he does something, or like a fast or something, he posts it to his community on Facebook. And that's where social media can be a plus, so he gets support in that way. Also, we spoke to Aya Cafe, and she's traveling all around with her husband, selling their products, like their snacks and stuff, which is pretty dope. And some of their friends cook, and they cook locally. So, let's say like, I try to cook as much as possible. So, let's say I cooked and just said, hey, I have meals for like $8, and people came around. Like if I was in the metro area and people came around, so they have people in their we need a word for this, like a squad or whatever, for their village. We'll call it village. So we have 6 people in their village who are doing that and cooking. So it's really important to network and not be afraid to lift people up.
Yeah, for sure.
Indeed. And I think that a lot of times like social media has kind of trained people to be kind of like antisocial. If you go on someone's Snapchat on a Friday night, you'll see a bunch of people in the club, trying to like they're having fun while not talking to anybody. Sometimes, you got to really just step up to somebody and be like, do it the old fashioned way. Be like, hey, my name is so-and-so and, I do X, Y, and Z, and what do you do? And you kind of just start the conversation like that because you never know what that person, what kind of door you're opening. People are doors,
exactly.
they'll lead you to other things, other people. You never know. So, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you have an event coming up this month.
Oh my gosh, I can't even keep up. Like, if I don't have my calendar in front of me, I'm always planning at least 4 events at the same time. And I just put another event up yesterday. So, what am I planning this month? Is it August? It's August. What are we doing? It's August already. I'm planning a trip to Baltimore. I've been planning that trip for the past 3 months. This will be our third year going. The first year, there were 7 of us. I was like, guys, let's go. Baltimore has a soul food vegan festival. What? Who's ever heard of that? And I was like, Baltimore's so close to us. Let's go. 7 of us went. It was the best time ever. It was an adventure. Had a great time. Last year, we did it again. About 15 of us came through. It was amazing. This year, I was like, you know what? Let's rent a bus. Let's go. Let's all go together. Let's be unified. I've got 35 people signed up to go, plus a wait list. So we are definitely coming through, and we definitely want to support all these Black vendors in the DMV area who are coming in to showcase what they're doing. And it's just a really fun event because everything there is vegan. And they have speakers, and they have vendors, and they have clothes, and they have vegan DJs, and they have singers. It's such an amazing event. So I'm extremely excited about that. And then I have an event here in New York. It's going to be in Brooklyn. We're just going to go grab some pizza at Screamers, and we're going to walk over to the park, and we're just going to sit and eat and talk and chill out on the grass and have a good time.
It's the little things. It's really the little things. But yes, that's
It's
that's
the little things.
Mm-hmm. So yes, is there the wait list? Is there so if anyone wanted to sign up, is it too late or?
It is. There is a wait list. If somebody really wants to make it, send me an email and make a case, and I'll bump them in. But really, obviously, these places are public. You're allowed to just show up and you can live your life and do whatever you want to do. I always just like to respect the place. Bringing 20 people and bringing 80 people is very different. So I don't be like, hey guys, let's grab pizza. And then there's 80 people in the establishment and they're not ready to handle all those people. So that's why there's a wait list. But I try to create throughout the month so that if one is full, I can go to another one. Or just wait for the next event to come through.
Indeed. That should definitely be a joyous occasion. And yes, we definitely need to go to more events. You'll be seeing us more often. Trying to think.
Yes, that would be great. Y'all need to come through because it's lit. We just had on Saturday we had our what I call chat brunch, and it's really funny because it was started off as a parody, as like a joke, but people started taking it seriously, like, oh my gosh, chat brunch, and that's such a great idea. I'm like, okay. That event was probably one of the best events I've ever done in my life. I'm talking about, I had people at the door. It was so fun. There was a DJ. We had so much food. There were so many people there who weren't vegan who were like, what? This is tofu. It tastes just like eggs. A lot of moments like that. It was amazing. It was just a lot of people having a lot of fun, eating a lot of good food, listening to a lot of good music. And that was absolutely wonderful.
If I had a sitter, I would have been there. I was looking at it, and I was actually in Brooklyn. I was like, oh, I had a sitter.
Oh.
And the menu was amazing. I know, right?
It was
grandma.
I was impressed, and it was my event. I was like, when I got there, I was like, what? This is way better than what was in my head. This is like awesome.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. You have unlimited drinks, like. I wish I could go through and go look in if my internet was working out right now, look in the gram, and you have I think muffins or something, just all types of things, like a burger glaze,
so
something.
much
I don't know.
food.
Wow. Yeah.
It was great. People are like, you need to do this again. Do you know how much work that was? And the crazy thing is, don't cancel the event. Even though I've been planning for months, we didn't put the event up until a week before. So Monday, that's when the flyer went out. The event was on Saturday. And tonight we only had 5 tickets sold. Friday, we were like, it's canceled. We been canceled. It was too much. We can't do all this work for 5 people. By Friday night, we were basically sold out. And we're like, all right, we're doing this. I think a lot of people have this opinion of things, like to be vegan, oh, vegans don't do this. And then a lot of vegans who, like, decide to live a certain lifestyle. But, like, that doesn't mean you can't dance and have a good time. Being vegan does not mean that. And so I'm really trying to push, that's another myth I'm trying to dispel, and be like, to be vegan and do this, the business I'm starting is actually a retreat business. Because what I've been seeing out there is like, okay, if it's a vegan retreat, it's either all white people, or it's a meditation retreat, or it's a yoga retreat. And there's nothing wrong with a meditation retreat or yoga retreat, but I'm like, what if you just want to go hang out in Miami for a couple days and not have to worry about what you're eating? That doesn't exist. There's no, like, retreat business like this one. It's like, you know what, we're just out here and we're having fun and we're being vegan and we're learning something. So that's basically my goal, is to sort of like create, and it's not for everybody. Of course, everyone doesn't like to hang out and dance and do all that stuff, and that's fine. But I want to be able to say, you could do this too. You don't have to worry about what you're going to eat or who you're going to be with or who you're going to hang out with. You can go hang out and travel and not have to worry about your food.
You're doing a lot of good work, and we definitely support you and all of your endeavors to kind of just, just make veganism look sexy. A lot of times, like, a lot of people don't get into it because it looks corny or this, that, and the third. We're very image driven kind of people. No one wants to be the first person to do something, but then once somebody does it and they do it well, then it's like, you know what, maybe it's not that bad. So, we definitely appreciate you taking that that leap of faith, basically, and, kind of just starting your own thing. And, it's good to see that you're getting growth. The numbers keep growing. The events keep getting better and better. So, you're definitely in the right direction.
Thank you so much. And it's like so funny you said that, because there are a bunch of people at Trap Brunch who were like, I didn't even know this space existed. What? There's veganism? What? There's thousands of you guys. I have people like, wow, I need to come to the event. I need to be around these people. And they just had no idea that, like, this is like a thing that's happening. I'm like, yeah, it actually wasn't happening. We just made it happen. And it's happened.
Indeed. I mean, sometimes you just got to kind of create your own thing if it's not there. I mean, the fact that you can even think of something and it's not created yet, that's like a sign from the universe that it's up to you to do it. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
So, we're about to take our next break, and we'll be back to wrap up the Green Inside story. So stay tuned. Greetings, you are tuned into the Green Inside story with Tony O. Westbury and Old Westbury Web Radio. I'm your host, Dwayne, with my co-host, Candace.
Hiya.
And our very, very special guest, Miss Naliaka.
Hi, everybody. I like that miss that you put. I like that. Miss Naliaka.
So, as you were saying, Candace?
I'm sorry. During the break, we were just wanting to wrap it up and give our guests something to take away. We want to give them a little gift bag, something that they can take home and use in their everyday life. So I know a lot in this episode you guys talked about community and how we're out here, we exist, there's space for us, and if there's not a space, we can create one. And it's important to do what you're passionate about. So we know there's a lot of people who are interested in, I think everybody's interested in eating better. Like, everybody's interested in loving better and being better at their job, making more money. All these things. People just want to better themselves. So what are the takeaways, or the quick takeaways that you can give people, or the really practical takeaways that you can give people for community and just living well?
Yeah. Well, I work in a lot of boroughs,